In terms of dealing with the police, there are some individuals that are often at a disadvantage just because of who they are. These people, of course, belong to minority groups because of their race, gender, mental health, financial situation, or even their LGBTIQ+ status. LGBTIQ individuals face problems because in Australia, like in so many cultures around the world, the police force has been built in reflection of a society that favours heteronormativity over diversity. While societies are embracing change more and more, the police force, which is often made up of cisgender, heterosexual, white males, is falling behind. These issues may stem from a range of places, from an unwillingness to accommodate, or a wider culture of discrimination, or even just a lack of education, but the outcome is still the same. There is a history of tension between LGBTIQ+ individuals and the police force, which does inform their interactions today and ultimately leads to an overrepresentation of these individuals in the criminal justice system. An article published online by the SBS titled "Malaysia's Muslim Trans Community in a Struggle for Human Rights" gives an indication of this reality for transgender people. In Malaysia, the same culture of misunderstanding and prejudice that does exist in Australia is amplified by the practice of Islamic law. Police officers who believe that men should be men and women should be women specifically target transgender people, which has left them severely disadvantaged in comparison to their cisgender peers. Malaysia funds a religious police force which is separate from their regular everyday police, whose job is to uphold the Islamic laws for their Muslim citizens. Serafina is an example given within the article of a transgender Muslim who was arrested for prostitution, while other cisgender prostitutes worked the same area in the same night without any prosecution. It is noted in the article even that these members of the religious police are often the ones paying for these women's services before returning later to arrest them for breaking Islamic law, a set of laws which specifically forbids any intercourse out of wedlock. However, for these people, as is the case in many countries, police discrimination is not the main issue here, but simply a factor of a much wider problem. For example, the article explains that in Malaysia, every person over 12 years old must carry an identity card that states their gender. It's a legal requirement to carry this card at all times, but at the same time, it is forbidden for transgender individuals to change the identity of their card to match their true gender. This is an example of the kind of discrimination that has such a culture-wide effect in Malaysia and leads to situations where, for example, transgender people are often exiled from their families for being who they are. Combined, this makes it extremely difficult for transgender people to find work and results in instances like Serafina, where they have no choice but to turn to prostitution to survive. Cultures such as these breed a situation of crime that could so easily be avoided with the right attitude to diversity. While in Australia, yes, we are far ahead of Malaysia in terms of accepting difference on a police force and societal level, there is still such a long way to go in Australia and around the world in terms of addressing discrimination and removing it from our societies.